Within the first year, we more than doubled our turnover.
Wow.
Took it to about... He left home when he was 16 from India, went to Kenya, and he slept on cinema sofa seats. Always have challenges where people look at you because you're young, you're a female. They never get that opportunity to be at the forefront. No one ever believes that you are that face of the brand, or face of the business. If I can do it, so many people can do it.
Hey guys, welcome to Property Investment Blueprint Podcast. In today's podcast, we have Kalpa Patel. She's an entrepreneur, born entrepreneur. So welcome to Property Investment Blueprint Podcast. Thank you so much for having me. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you? Thank you so much for having me on here today.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. So I'm very excited about what we're going to discuss today. But before we get into what we're talking about, I'd like you to give us a bit of idea of what our listeners are going to learn about listening or watching us in this podcast.
So for me, it's just more inspirational and motivational, and just to tell everyone that if you dream big, you can make it happen. You just got to put the hard work in, got to put the efforts in, and just keep pushing and keep going. And be humble. That's my one thing I would always say to people is be humble. No matter where you go, no matter how high you go, always remember where you came from. And I think that's so important.
Fantastic. I love that. So let's start from the beginning. What is your contact from earliest years I need to understand to know Kalpa?
So for me, I left school when I was 16. Wow. Never went to uni. I just kind of went into a role and I was working for Stylo Group, Barrett's shoes. And then from there, I progressed into management at the age of 17 and got my own showroom in Enfield Town. Wow. And then I've always kind of been in the management role since I've left school. So I've got used to the not wanting to go to uni, always had the cash flow and the money going on. So for me, it was always the independence that I was really proud of. And uni is it wasn't for me. It's not for everyone. Not to say that it's not a thing for anyone to do, but it wasn't for me. So I just continued my journey. And then from there, I went on to work for a company called Atlantic Electrics. I was there for 4 years, running the showroom in Tottenham Court Road. I got to the age of 24, 25, I think, and I thought, look, I need a break. I just need to step back from everything. I need a reset. Went to India for 6 months, did some traveling, and I came back in 2010. I came back and I was like, okay, I need a job. What am I going to do? I've been away out of the game for a little while, and I just need to get back into a job. So I applied for so many jobs, and one in particular was Bath Store. It was one of the biggest bathroom companies around at that time. And I applied for as a sales assistant. So I went to the interview and the area manager goes to me, why are you coming here as a sales assistant? You have all this experience of managing teams, doing the turnover, building businesses. Why are you coming here as a sales assistant? My first thing was, I need to start from the bottom and work my way up, because I knew nothing about bathrooms. I knew nothing about the trade. So for me, how can I manage a team if I don't know anything about it? I can't. So for me, I went in there. 6 months down the line, we had some great opportunities, great clients, great projects I worked on. And then on the 16th of April, they gave me a call. And they said, right, today I want you to come to Finchley Road. I said, okay, why am I going to Finchley Road? So I went. He was like, there's the keys for your shop. And this is what you're taking over. I was like, this is amazing. So this showroom used to take about 600,000. So we were like, how are we going to do this? There were staff that were just there for the sake of being there. I was like, we've got to turn this around. Within the first year, we more than doubled our turnover. Took it to about 1.8 million within the first year.
In 1 year?
In 1 year. We had a phenomenal year. And we kind of just grew and grew and grew on that. And time went by and I was there for 8 years. So I don't know where the time went, but yeah, we progressed really fast, looking after the area. There was a few other showrooms I was looking after. And then I fell pregnant with my first child. So that's kind of where the journey all began in the bathroom world and the bathroom industry. And now 14 years I'm in.
Fantastic. So I just want to take you back a little bit here. It really fascinates me when people tell me they started thinking about doing things on their own when they are very young. For example, your case, 16 years old. Most people, they'll be in school by then, right? Maybe they've just finished their GCSEs or things like that. For you then, I wanted to take me back. How was life like before 16? So what was that thing that really draws you to want to do things at age 16?
For me, it was, I knew in school that I was one who never liked to do homework. I never liked to sit down and do exams, but I was always very hands-on. I like to do the practical stuff. I like to get my hands dirty. I like to get stuck in with stuff. And I always knew that for me, I wanted to be a mentor. I wanted to be somebody who can bring things up and take things to another level, but it was never going to be academically. So for me, my mind was always running 100 miles an hour, but I just didn't know how to put it down to what exactly I wanted to do at that time. So that's when my calling was going into retail, going into showrooms, and just changing things around and seeing where I can make it better, how I can progress that business, how we can bring that business up and turn it around.
Wow. So how is family like then? Because was money an issue in your family? Were you kind of envy some of the people that you're hanging around with? How was family like?
Do you know what? Growing up, my dad, my dad's not here anymore. He passed away 6 years ago. But he was an accountant and he did everything he could for his family. Like he grew us up. He gave us everything we wanted. I'm telling you, Nike shoes, Nike clothes. He literally gave us everything. But he always taught us the value of money. He always said, you got to do some work here with me in the office, and then you will get a reward for it, or you get a payment for it.
Right. Okay.
And we never got it for free. We didn't just get handouts just like that. My dad made sure he taught us the values of earning money, working hard, and he instilled that in all of us 4 children from a very young age, which I'll forever be appreciative. So I was like, that is really one thing that motivated me. He worked so hard his whole life to keep his family together, to bring all his brothers and sisters over from India. He left home when he was 16 from India, went to Kenya, and he slept on cinema sofa seats. And that's how he built his career, his life, got married to my mom at the age of 21, brought her to London. He came to London with like bare minimum in his pocket. And he bought his first house when he came here. And he's like, for me, he is my inspiration. And he was my person that I thought, you know what, if he can do it in those times, anyone can do it. That was just my push. And even till this day, he's always been, obviously my mum, they've always been I always look up to them. And I always feel like, you know what, if I could be half that person that they are, I would just be more than grateful. I'll be so humbled to be half the person that they were. Absolutely. So kind, so caring, and always humble. And I think for me, that's where we get our inspiration from. We get those values instilled, and I try and instill those into my children to show them every day you have to work hard. It doesn't come to you just like that. No. Even if you have the money, you shouldn't just be giving it to them just for the sake of them having a luxury life, because they should understand that you have to work hard for it. It doesn't come for free. It doesn't come out of nowhere. You're grafting. You have to do it. Absolutely. You have to put the hours in. You have to be kind. You have to build the relationships with people. And that's what I think goes a long way. Yeah,
I try to bring that to my children as well, because people think, oh, Raheem, you've got all these things. Why are kids not having lots of tablets? Why they're not having all the things? So they've got probably one tablet that they share among themselves. It's not like I can afford to buy the tablet. I want them to understand that you have to earn something to get it.
The value of things.
You have to value it. And also learning to share things also helps a lot. And I'm not going to be a bit kind of stereotypical here, but for Africans and also Asians alike, they're very big in education. Especially when it comes to the Asians, you need to be a doctor or an accountant.
Yeah, that's it. Doctor,
so how
lawyer.
Were you able to overcome that sort of thing? Did you have that problem that your dad said you should be an accountant, you should be a doctor? Because most of my friends, they were like that. Literally, since they were born, they will tell you're going to be a doctor.
Yeah, so you know what? I'm sure they had a lot of aspirations for me. My sister went to uni, she passed her degrees and everything. And then me and my brother in between, we never were that academic. We never enjoyed going to school. We never enjoyed any of that. Yeah. So for them, I know they were probably feeling a little bit deflated or a little bit disappointed. But to be fair on them, they never made us feel like we couldn't do something if we didn't go to uni, or we couldn't be better, or we couldn't do what we really wanted to do. So for that, we're like, it wasn't our typical Asian family where they're like, you haven't been a doctor, you haven't been a lawyer, you haven't been a solicitor, you're not a pharmacist. So that's why we were allowed to go in our own direction and kind of pave our way through the life, which really helped. And I think that was also a great support system, because even if you fall, they would help you kind of rebuild and help you kind of restructure. And everybody's had issues in their life and everyone's had problems, but it's how you grow from those and how you have a support system around you to make you come further and push you even more and push you to be the better version of yourself and push you to be the best version of yourself. And I think today I can actually sit here and say, you know what, if I didn't have that support system, I wouldn't be able to be the version I am today. Same with my husband, my partner. He's my best friend, but he's supported me in these last 12 years we've been together through so much stuff. And like, he's always wanted me to aspire and do everything I want. I go networking 3 times a week sometimes, tireless hours I'm working, but he'll always there, help to support with the boys, help to do stuff in the house, he works full time as well. So we come together as a unit, we come together as a team, and I think we can accomplish so much together.
That is amazing. Very, very good to hear that. So, so I get your family is kind of a bit liberal. Like, you can do whatever you want to do as long as you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, of course.
You don't have to be a doctor or an accountant. So I really like that, because as I said, as I was growing up, you have to be an accountant or a doctor.
Yeah.
Right? You've got no choice.
That was us worrying.
And that's how I ended up being an accountant, because my foster mom said I have to be an accountant. And obviously I became an accountant. So I really understand that. So how does that groom you then to become an entrepreneur?
So for me, I always had the passion, I always had the drive. And then when I was in the bathroom industry, I always felt like I always want to get involved in projects, and I feel like I want to have an opinion. I want to see things come together, the vision at the end of the day that comes together from the groundwork to the build process to seeing things that people come in and we can choose and help them build it and bring it all to life. For me, that passion in me came to light, and I knew that I want to do this because I was like, it wasn't just about taking the building the business or taking the turnover. It's seeing the transformation that you bring to someone's home, because it's very personal.
Absolutely.
It's so personal that every day people wake up and they see that every day. You want them to love it. You want them to always be in love with that piece that they've chosen and we've put together as a team. So for me, that inspirational, that journey from the beginning to the end is so important. Whereas there's so many bathroom companies out there. What makes us different to other people? Because we care. We love what we do. And even my team, everyone plays an important role in this business. Whether it's our accountant registry, whether it's our warehouse manager, Sohel, our colleague Nain, who's been here 18 years. My colleague Chitra, she's been here 12, 13 years. And we've taken on a new member, Nilukshi. She's been here 3 months, but everybody feels like a family member.
Love that.
Which I love. And I think that's what grows the business. We work together as a team, we get stuff done, and they've been such a support system for me as well. Like I can't say like without them as well. Without them, we wouldn't be here today. So,
absolutely. I love that. In order for you to be able to build a good business or a great business, you have to have people around you.
Of course.
Because these are the people that will see what you don't see, and these are the people that can add value to your business. So before we get to that, I'd like to congratulate you on being the owner, 1 year ownership of Prestige Bathrooms.
Thank you.
So what motivated you to take the transition from being an employee to being your own boss?
So what it was, 2 years ago, actually 3 years ago, I actually left the company for a few days because I was offered a role in Chelsea as a specifications manager in a large company. It was a corporate company. And I took the jump and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go do it and see how I get on. So I went, I lasted 3 days there because you know what it was? I realized that me taking this move, I get the extra money, I get everything else, but I'm going to lose that time with my kids. And for me, my kids are so important, and I didn't realize how much time I would lose with them. In those 3 days, I was missing out on morning routines, evening routines. There was so much pressure on what I was trying to do that I was forgetting about the kids. Most valuable thing in my life is my children. So I was like, hang on a minute, now we have to take a step back. I called my old director and I said, you know what, I was crying on the phone and I have no shame. I said, I need to come back. I say, will you take me back? They said, within a heartbeat, we'll take you back tomorrow.
Wow.
He was like, take these 2 days off and come back on Monday, and we'll come back and go back to how everything was, and there was no issues. I came back here.
Wow.
And you know what? I came back here and somebody said to me, it's meant to be. You're meant to be here.
Wow.
You're back for a purpose. And I thought to myself, you know what? I actually am back for a purpose, because for me, obviously, the directors were amazing. They were older. But for me, I was like, if we ever had an opportunity, maybe in the future, and they wanted to retire, would I want to take that forward? And would I want to continue our name? Been here 25 years. This brand has been here for so many years. Everybody in this industry knows prestige bathrooms. Can we carry that forward? And for me, that was where the passion clicked and that drive clicked. And I was forever grateful. And they came to me and said, look, we want to give you an opportunity to buy the business from us because we want to retire. And I was like, I said to my husband, I said to them before I even spoke to my husband, I was like, yes, please. I said, I'll take it. No matter what I have to do, I'm going to grab this opportunity with two hands. Went home that day and I said to my husband, okay, so just so you know that we're going to buy prestige bathrooms. He was like, what? He was like, you haven't even discussed it with me. I said, there's no discussion. We're going to buy it. We have to do whatever we have to do to make this happen. And in my head, I had it in my head that I want to buy this place. So I had to make it happen. Whichever way we did it, it was just inside of me now. This was my life. This was my desire. This was my passion. And this was going to be our baby that we're going to grow and bring into the new times. We're going to make it even better than what it already was. So we went away and then we just came back to it. 2 years in the process, back and forth. And we got to last year, 30th of November, signed that paperwork. And then the 1st of December, we got the keys. Wow. And everything changed. Literally, I walked in here. I've gone from being an employee to owning this bathroom business.
And it's huge.
I was like,
massive.
Oh my God, how are we going to do this? At first, I was like, what are we going to do? And it just kind of just happened naturally. I've got my brother-in-law, Miran, who's also a part of the business. Good. But obviously he's not here today. But we just took it under our wings and we just kind of went with it. We were just like, we're just going to push and push and push. And we're going to work hard and we're going to make it happen. Wow. And this year has been it's been one of the best years we've had. And we've seen the growth, the relationships grow from the industry, making new relationships with interior designers, architects, contractors. And we're showing them the passion. It's not about the prestige bathrooms, it's about the people. Absolutely. And I think for us, it's people go to people and people value relationships and what you bring to them as a person. Yeah. It's not about all these beautiful showroom about this. It's all about the relationship and how you treat people is so important. I've realized that this is what it's all about. Absolutely. You can grow, you can do everything, but you always got to nurture those relationships that have come to you, who trust in you, who believe in you, to make their projects happen, to make their projects so smooth that they don't have to feel pressure. They don't feel the issues. You know what, projects, there's always things that go wrong. You know, Absolutely. You've seen it happen. Things come wrong, things can come damaged, things change on site, measurements change on site. But you know what, you've got that one person you can pick up a phone to and say, Kalpa, I need this sorted tomorrow. Can you do it? 100%. Do it. You know, for me, I will work till the evening. If I have to deliver a tender or a package, or I have to deliver a price package because they need it, for me, I'll get it done because that's my passion. Wow. That's not because, whether it comes to me or not, I've done everything on my part that I need to do to make sure that client or my friend or my person who I'm dealing with is serviced to the best of my ability. And I think that's what makes it the all-round package. Wow.
I love that. You know, talking about that is I'm thinking about adding value. Basically, you're adding value. It's not just about grabbing a tap or maybe grabbing a toilet. It's about being there for the person, trying to get them to know you're not just there to grab their pennies. Exactly. You're there to serve them. I love that. Yeah. And if you continue doing that, your business will grow. It would outperform lots of businesses, not just around here, but throughout the UK, because that's what lots of businesses are lacking. They're all after that invoice, all after that tender, all after the stuff that makes them want to make money, basically.
Yeah, and so it is just turning boxes. And I don't want to be a person who's just shifting boxes. Yeah. I want to be part of the project. I want to be on there. I want to go to site. I want to be involved. I want to see from the start to finish, when that house or the residential luxury apartment is done, or someone's private client home is done. And I want to be at the end of that to see the end finished project. And that's for me,
I love that.
I love it. That's my passion, and that's my drive. And my fire inside me is that. For me, everything else comes. Everything will fall into place, but just making sure the client's happy, the contractor's happy, the designer's happy. We work together as a team. We don't say, it's your fault, it's my fault. We work together. If there's a problem, we sort it out. We deal with it and we move forward with it, and that's it. It's just getting it over the line is what's the most important thing. I love that,
same here for me then. When I do properties, people think, oh, you're making lots of money on this property stuff. It's not that. That's not what brings joy to me.
Yeah.
What brings joy to me is two things. Is finishing the property and see a family is moving in, and they're going to call that property as a home. For me, that brings all the joy I could ever get.
Exactly.
The second thing also is for me helping someone to learn what I do to ensure they start buying their own investment properties.
Yeah.
I see them buying that house. That's what brings that joy to, because I know now they know the blueprint. They know what they can do to actually expedite.
They know the process,
and obviously make it to whatever level they
want to. But it's all about the process that it's in between.
Yes.
That you can help someone get to where they need to be. And I think people just need to help people more. There's no harm in collaborating, working together. That's the beauty of it. That's what people don't get. Yeah. And you know what? Everyone can grow together, and that's what I feel is, for me, that's my message to anyone is let's collaborate, let's grow together. We can all grow together as a team. People have really important roles to play, and there's so much work out there. There is the work is just never ending, you know, and we're so grateful for it. And that's what I'm forever grateful for, is just keep going. That's it. No matter what happens, you're going to have obstacles in the way. You're going to have things that are pitfalls. You're going to have people who don't like you, people who love you. But that's the whole process of life, I think, for me.
I just want to draw your attention a little bit more into owning a business, because that is a massive jump from you being a safe and secure employee that gets his salary every single month to now owning and controlling a business. And I wanted to take me a little bit of process of how were you able to acquire or buy this business itself? I know they were about to retire, but you have to put something in order to get this. Could you kind of give us a little bit of a background of how you were able to?
So we had to obviously get a deposit together. So me and my business partner and my brother-in-law Miran, we put a deposit together for them, which we managed to scrape from wherever we could with everyone's help. But for us, and then obviously our previous directors helped us with sorting out a deal where we could just, over the year, we could just pay them out of the business, which also helped. So it was just having that opportunity where someone that believed in you, who gave you an opportunity, because there's no way we would have been able to do that on our own. There's absolutely no way. We wouldn't have the capacity or the cash flow to be able to do that ourselves. And now we're a year in today, as we said, and we're just going to keep going. We're going to keep building and just making everyone's lives brighter. I think that's what we're here for.
Right. I'm going to touch on to that again. So, because I know this is where lots of people struggle, I'm emphasizing on the transition. You've used to that salary. For me, I call it drugs.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the biggest drugs.
It is, yeah.
People get salary, get comfortable. This is
it's coming
where my life is coming every
month.
single month.
Yeah.
How are you able to change that perspective? Because it's like you have to disrupt the norm.
Yeah.
Right?
You have to.
So how are you able to do that?
It's a lot of pressure. It is a lot of pressure. Day to day, there's a lot of pressure behind the scenes, because you've got to pay suppliers, you've got to pay your staff, you've got to pay your overheads, you've got to pay your rent, you've got to pay everything. So that pressure is constantly there. So for me, it's the fact that you have to make it happen. You have no choice. No matter what you do, you have to push and push every single day. And you can't stop, because you can't stop paying wages. You can't stop paying suppliers. So it is a constant battle of, obviously, cash flow. You've got just generally the day-to-day running of that business. But for me, that's what drives me as well. Again, it's sometimes being under pressure. You're like, let's do this. How are we going to make it different? How are we going to find that drive? How are we going to find the extra revenue? How are we going to cover all the areas? It's not just from entry level. We do mid-end, we do high-end, we do bespoke. We work with architects, designers, we work with retail clients. We cover the whole spectrum. So that we're just trying to find of the ways of how to broaden the horizon rather than staying static in one place. Is the way to kind of push the business forward.
I love that. I really love that perspective. So what is your why? Why are you doing all this?
For me this is my baby, and this is my third baby. This is my passion, my fire. This is my aspiration. For me, do you know what? If you're good at what you do, everything else falls into place.
True.
And for me, it's building relationships, making the connections with people, and just making your brand awareness out there, the name out there. And that's, for me, is just drives me. That makes me feel so full inside. Everything else follows with it. Everything else will follow. The turnover follows, the building of the business follows. Everything else will come in play. But for me, it's being that forefront of it's being a good person, being honest, being respectful.
Love that.
To whether someone spends £5 with me or whether someone spends £500,000 with me, they should be treated the same as that person who spends 500,000.
Wow.
And I think that's really powerful, because we've had people come into the showroom and you can't judge a book by its cover.
No.
Because people could walk in here scruffy, they could be like in torn jeans and rough trainers, but that person, don't disregard them, because they could be the one that spends £50,000 in here and says, I want everything. And there's other people that could walk in a suit and be the total opposite. So you can never judge a book by its cover. And I think that's so important. And that's such an important lesson that people should learn from, because it's so nice to have the nice cars, the designer handbags, but really those things they shouldn't define you. And I think that shouldn't define your whole outlook in life. Because if that's what defines you, then that's really shallow. Because for me, it should be how you are as a person, what you do, what you can do for people less fortunate than you, like charity work. And I think for me, I love doing wherever we can, whether it's a £5 or £20 or a £50 or a £100 donation to help charities and people less fortunate than you. I think that's so good to give back, because everyone can earn millions, everyone can do lots, but it's how you manage your time and how you manage the money and how you give back to people. And all those things that you maybe didn't have when you were younger, are they really necessary? Are they really a big part of life? Like having 5 houses? Because you know what it is. Like we were saying when my dad passed away, we were like, having all these things is just materialistic. But having your family in your life, your friends in your life, a great work balance in your life, that for me is the real treasures in life. And I think that's the most important key message to get across, that people can grow, people can get so big, but people forget the family, people forget the relationships, they forget the friends that they've built on the way, and people just out for their own. And I think that's what we've got to put across, especially now to our younger generation that are coming up, the next generation. They have to keep valuing, because when we were younger, we were grown up by our grandparents. We're always in a close family, cousins we see our relatives along the way. Now nobody's got time. Why has no one got time? You're building, everyone was working before, but nobody has time anymore for those small things in life.
Absolutely.
So for us, we're like, go and see that family member, go and pick up the phone and have a conversation.
Wow.
It's not just an email, it's not just a text. I think those things are really being forgotten, because everyone's too busy trying to make money, but they're not spreading that time out. And I think that's where we need to really get that message out there to people, where we should work hard. Don't get me wrong, we all want to have a good life. Everyone wants to have a good life, but just take time out for those elderly relatives, those people who grew you up, who supported you in your worst times, who supported you at your best times. Just keep going with those relationships, and making new relationships along the way is my motto in life. I think that's never going to change.
I like that. So taking over, this is very big one, right? Taking over a 25 years old business, it's a unique business as well, right? What challenges and opportunities as a business owner now you've faced along the way? Because you've got a brand, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what are the challenges have you faced along the way?
So for me,
opportunities,
it's been, again, as I said, it's been an immense year. But you always have challenges where people look at you because you're young, you're a female. In our industry, women and females in the construction industry, in our bathroom industry, they never get that opportunity to be at the forefront. People look at you, they always imagine that you're an admin person or you're a designer or something like that, and no one ever believes that you are that face of the brand, or face of the business. And for me, when I walk into a room, you still get those challenges every day. People come to you and they disregard you because they just completely ignore you because they think that the person who's sitting next to you, who could be a male, has more knowledge or knows more or could be the owner of the company. They don't even ever think that you could be an owner, especially as a female. And as a younger female, you always get those challenges, and it's getting better, don't get me wrong, in our industry, but people they still have that old school mentality of it's a very male dominated industry. So I think those were the biggest challenges. So I was saying to the people that I network with, we're going to go to MIPIM next year in March, and in Cannes. That's one of the biggest developers industry that go there, and it's a lot of men who go there. But we were like, we're going to change that. We're going to go and we're going to be confident and get out there. I love that energy. I love it. And we're going to see how we get on and just be like, look, we're here. We're here. We do good jobs as well. We are entrepreneurs. We are business owners too, and we're just going to go see how it goes and forge those relationships and change little things that we can change. Change perceptions of. It's just a man's world or it's just a woman's world. No, we can all come together and be humans and work together. It's what it's about. It's not about a male or a female. It's about ourselves being humans and coming together as one and working together.
I love that. So you've mentioned about these challenges. I can see, because I'm in the real estate industry. I know it's male dominated. You're absolutely right. But believe me or not, the ladies are doing better than the men.
They're getting out there. They really are pushing through. They really are.
So I think it's good for us to have people like yourself to break that barrier, because there's so many people. For example, I remember a lady approached me, wanted to do some work for me. My staff then picked the phone up, saying, well, I wanted to speak to the manager. And then the lady was like, I'm the manager. I own the business. And then he had a different perception, like, she goes, I am the owner.
I'm the owner,
And then he said, okay, I will need to speak to the person who's going to do the work. She said, I'm going to be doing the work. And it was a bit of a different situation to be in, but that didn't get hard to learn that it does not have to be a man.
On the other end of a phone.
On the other end of the phone, or to do a job.
To do a job. It could be anybody.
So from that day, she was like, I've learned a big lesson here, because it's just a perception. Men can do what women
do. Exactly. Men are nurses. Men can do all the roles that we do, and it should be vice versa. But sometimes it's frowned upon when a woman is doing it as opposed to a man. So, but now it's definitely changing. The industry is changing, and I'm glad that we're making our mark in the industry, which is great. And I think we should push more women who are a bit timid or a bit scared to get into the industry, that they can do it. And there's no reason. And we should have the support of strong men who are doing really well. And that's why I'm saying we should work together as human beings, not as a male or a female. And it shouldn't be a gender thing. It should be a human thing. We work together, we gel together, we connect together, and we push forward together. And I think that's where things should change and evolve, hopefully, over the years, slowly.
Absolutely. So if I was a lady looking to start a business or looking to buy a business, what skills do you think are the most important skills I need to learn in order for me to be able to buy a business or run a business or acquire a business?
For me, I think you've got to have that passion. You've got to have that drive. You've got to have that motivation. And you've got to enjoy what you do. You've got to you wake up every day and you got to come to your office or come to your workplace. You have to enjoy what you do. And you've got to have, I think for me, it's, you don't have that perception of you're the boss. For me, I'm a worker, just as anyone else. And I think that's always made it different for me, because taking over a business, you can come in and be all guns blazing. I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that. But without your support system, you can't do any of it.
True.
You're not a one-man band. So for me, it's always, you've got to remember that you got to work, you need teamwork. You need to have goals that need to be set. You need to have that fire, you need to have the passion, you need to be motivated. And you need to build on the knowledge, because when I was just a salesperson, I never knew the back end of stuff, the accounts, we needed to pay tax, corporation tax. I never knew any of that. I just had to just kind of work my way and kind of be guided by people who were in our team, my accounts lady, who kind of shown me the way. I pick up the phone to the accountant and say, what do I need to do? And that's, I've just been put in at the deep end. But if I can do it, so many people can do it. Like, I didn't know anything about the back end. I'm a great salesperson. I'm a great person who can push forward with numbers, and I can do all that. But it's the back end stuff that I never knew about that was the daunting part at first. And within the first month, I was like, okay, I'm going to learn. I'm going to get out there and I'm going to expand my horizon, and I'm going to find out what this does, how we deal with the tax, how we deal with the VAT, how we deal with corporation tax. And for me, all those things that I never did before, I went out of my comfort zone. And I learned and I read up about it, and I just, you know what, that's what makes bringing it all together, because you can be good at one thing, but then you need to learn the other skill sets. And you have to do it. And that's what I find, that we've grown because you want to get out there, you meet new people. Networking, for me, I started really pushing the networking, getting out there, meeting new people. And it's not to do with, so give me business, because I'm not like that. For me, I just want to go out and meet new people, because as you get older, your friend circle gets smaller. You're very particular about your friends and everything else. So when you do go into a room full of people, you just find that you can connect, you can click. It's not about, I'm Prestige Bathrooms, take my card. This is what I do. I'm not like that. I want to hear about your family. I want to hear about what your experiences are, what journeys you've been on. For me, that's inspiring.
Absolutely.
And I sit in a room full of people, and I get so inspired by what people have done, what people do. And I can pick up from that, and I can learn from that, and I can maybe bring that into my business and say, do you know what? That person really, really touched me today. They really, really inspired me to do this, or they really, really gave me an idea to do something better. And that's what we should be like. We should work together and come together as one and motivate each other. We all can all learn skill sets. We're always learning. I'm still learning. Till this day, I'm always learning. Every single day is a learning journey.
Absolutely.
And there's no one who knows everything.
No.
There isn't. There is no one who knows everything. And I feel like if we can just take a little bit from here, take a little bit from there, take a little bit from there, there's no harm in that. Because if someone's doing really well, tell them they're doing really well. Why do we need to be just a sideline watcher? What harm is it to congratulate someone and say, do you know what, you're doing a fantastic job. You're doing an amazing job. You juggle your family, you juggle your work life, you juggle your home life, and you do all this other stuff that's great. But why can't we just say, you know what?
Well done.
Well done. Why can't we do that? Because people are so scared to give recognition. And I think that's where we fail, because it's so easily done. People are not even, I don't know whether it's jealous, whether it's envious. You know what? There's no need for it, because there's so much scope of business, there's so much scope of work out there. Why can't we just be like, you've done a great job today. You managed your family well today. We just living life. This is what it is. This is a process. And we can do better every day. We can progress ourselves, but we can have crap days too. We can have days where today you're like, oh God, I'm not, there's so much going on. You're having a bad day, but you feel like if someone comes to you and just says, just keep going, just get yourself through it. How nice does that feel?
Amazing.
Rather than someone be like looking at you going, look, they're having a shit day today. We just like leave them to it. They're just it's great for us. But people are like that. There's just not enough of those people who can just push you and inspire you to do better. Just a one word to someone can change someone's whole day.
Absolutely.
That's all it is, all it takes, I think.
I love that. So same for me in my business. We don't wait until the month end to say someone's done well done. Even if I'm having my team meetings, if someone did really well, I encourage my whole team to give them a round of applause. Of course. To let them know they've done amazing. Yeah. You don't have to wait until month end. You don't have to wait until end of the year.
Yeah, to say thank you. You've done amazing.
You've done amazing. No, you need to get them. Understand you appreciate every single thing they do at the time they've done it.
Yeah. Not 5 months down the line and be like, oh yeah, thanks for that.
Thanks for that. I've done it a long time ago. And that also helps you and helps the business because if you're complimenting them, you're telling them they are doing really well. Guess what? They're going to do really well.
Exactly.
Your business is going to thrive.
Yeah.
You are going to thrive. They are going to win, and they're going to get motivated to do a lot more for your business. So I do that every time. Every time in my meeting, anyone who did well, we give them a round of applause.
Of course. And you know what? We work on the things that, if we haven't done so well, we find a solution of how we can make it better for the next time. So everyone makes mistakes. Everyone can make mistakes. But no one's saying don't make mistakes. No. Everyone's saying how we grow from that, how we move forward from that is what's important.
Absolutely.
And that person shouldn't be penalized for a mistake they've made because life is a journey. It's not a sprint. It's everyone says it's a marathon. We take it at our own pace. And I think everyone needs to stay in their lane. Be happy with the lane you're in because some people might be progressing a bit further, some people might be a bit slower, but so what? It's your journey. And that's what I think we need to remember. It's your journey and that's what matters. You go at your own pace. Some days could be 100 miles an hour. Some days we need to take a step back and be at 50 miles an hour, but we have to find that balance.
I love that, because in my company as well, what I tend to say, you can make mistakes. Because for me, sometimes you got to make a mistake to learn.
Of course.
And the only thing I tell my business, when you make a mistake, make sure you don't make that same mistake again.
Of course, right? And that's it.
Make sure you learn from that mistake. Anybody around you, let them know the mistake you've made so they will not make the same mistakes. Because most of the corporations know how to do mistakes. If you miss, you are out the door.
Yeah, of course.
It stops creativities and also it stops motivation and innovation.
People are scared to make a decision.
But
and if you need to make a decision,
I tell everybody, you can make a decision. You don't have to wait for me. Make it. Perhaps come back to me and say, I've done this, what do you think? I can give you feedback.
That's it.
Because that then helps the business to grow and get you to grow and be able to make decisions.
And sometimes someone might have an idea that works. So we should share and input ideas together because something I don't know, somebody might know, and they can share it with us and we put it together and it works. This is what it is.
Yes, for example, we were creating a landing page for one of my programs. And we had an issue on it. I employed someone recently to work in the office with us. He knew how to fix the problem, but because he was worried about what the other people think, he did not resolve it. So he came back to me and was like, have we sorted the problem out? He said, no, I haven't sorted it. I said, do you know how to do the problem? Because you are a programmer. He said, yes. I said, why didn't you do it? Because I don't want to offend the other people. I said, no, we're all striving for the same objective.
Yeah, that's it.
So why would you let other people struggle to resolve a problem that
you can do? Yeah.
So what you want to do, help them out, sit with them, show them how to resolve that problem. So in the future, we don't have to try it on. Because he was a bit worried because where he used to work, the job is not yours. You don't do it, even if you know how to do it. I said, well, in this company,
that's a shame.
In this company, whatever you know how to do,
you do it.
Give a hand, help people. Exactly. Or you go do it and show them how to do it.
This is it. This is my motto. I was saying to our team here, I said, if the bathroom needs to be cleaned, I will go and clean it. I have no issues to do that. If something needs to be done, if I need to run around and go pick up a delivery, I need to go drop a delivery, I'm more than happy to put it in my car and I'll go and do it. Because that's what we do. We work together as a team. No job, it doesn't make you any smaller or any less of a director if you go and clean a WC or you go and clean the kitchen or you go and clean the showroom. It doesn't make you any less of a person.
Same.
Do you know what I mean? Everyone should be valued and respected the same way. Whether you're a CEO of a corporate company or whether you're someone who does the cleaning in a showroom or you do whatever your role may be, everyone plays an important part in our world.
Absolutely.
So I think that's what people need to forget, that status is nothing. Status and power is nothing. My son, this is a really good example. My 7-year-old, we were in the office with my accounts lady, and he goes, "Mummy, you're the boss." And I said, "No." I said, "I'm not the boss." I said, "I'm a worker." I said, "Don't ever forget that." I said, "I am just a worker. I don't want to be a boss. I am just a worker." And he looked at me and he was like, "Wow." And when he left, my lady in the accounts team, she was like, "That's amazing. Like, you're actually teaching them that there's the boss. Okay, there's times where you shouldn't have that hierarchy where I'm the boss and you're my staff. It shouldn't be like that. Like, we should work together." There is also, obviously, people know that if you say something, you kind of need it done, but there's never that. You shouldn't be like, "Oh, I'm the boss." It doesn't work like that. No. And people don't respect you when you're like that. And I don't feel that. For me, we all work together on the level. That's how it should be, and that's how we push forward together.
It's good you're talking about that, because I do exactly the same thing with the people I work with. Well, I call them colleagues or business partners. I call them. When I come to the office, anybody need water, I go and get them water.
Exactly. If someone wants a coffee, I'll go make a coffee or a cup of tea.
So they'll be like, the first time I remember I had two girls started working with me. When I said, "Anybody want a cup of coffee?" I saw them looking at me.
Yeah.
"You serious? You can get a cup of coffee for me?" I was like, the first time when I asked them, they were scared. Like, "No, I'm not going to let you do me a cup of coffee." But now they're getting used to the system.
Yeah, because people never expect it.
When I say, "Want a cup of coffee, water?" They say, "Yeah, I want it. I can do it." It's nothing.
It's nothing. Exactly. This is what it is.
We're all equal, because if you break that barrier, you tend to have people working, doing really, really well, innovate the business, and everybody grows.
Everyone grows together.
Everybody grows in that level. But one question I've got for you also is this. We've got this stigma to say you need money in order to start a business or in order for you to be successful. For the people that think they need loads of money to start business, what advice do you have for these people?
Do you know what? I think that is a stigma, definitely, because if you're really hungry for it, you'll find a way, you'll find a means, and it will happen.
Absolutely.
That's what it is. No matter if it's a startup business or whether it's an established business, where there's a way, there's a will.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what I'm a big believer of. Like, for me, when we were going to buy this business, I didn't have all the funds, and I was like, well, how are we going to do it? Yeah. How are we going to find a way to do it? But we managed to get around it, and we managed to find a solution and come together, and we made it happen. So I think it's not the case you need to have a massive capital behind you to get into a business. Sometimes you've got to, if you've got the passion, you've got the drive, you just need to find a way to make that happen.
Absolutely.
And I
think love that. I love the how part of it, because most people think like, "Oh, I haven't got the money." As soon as you say I haven't got the money or it's too expensive, for me, you've created a barrier.
Yeah, of course, straight away.
Because you stop your mind from thinking, "I don't have it."
Yeah, you've shut it off. You've closed it down. Yeah, you've closed it down.
So I like the way you thought about it. How do I get it? And then obviously that how then leads you to who do I contact to help me out? Then you
where do I go from here?
And then you've got your other family member to work and bring the money in and to get it happen.
We had to find a way of doing it, and it was hard. It was a really, really hard process to get to where we were. And that's why I value it so much, because it didn't just happen like that. And it won't just happen like that. Yeah. I didn't want someone to just say, "You know what, there's the money, take it," and that's it. Because we want to work hard. We want to build the brand. We want to build the business. And we want it to be ours. We want it to have that signature of our touch to it. We don't want it to just be like an hand me down and be like, "You know what, this is it, there you go, carry on running it." But that's not us. No. We want to put our stamp on it and make it our own and just be like, "You know what, from the heart, we're going to keep growing this and keep going and keep pushing and make it what we want to make it and make it a success. And in the future, I want to have a showroom in Mayfair. I want to have that office in Mayfair. That's my aspirations."
Amazing.
And you know what, for me, I'm gonna do it, because I'm gonna dream so big that I'm gonna get to where I want to get to, because
I love that.
This is the way I feel and how passionate I am about it. I'm gonna drive myself, motivate myself every day to be the better version of me every single day. I love that,
Kalpa. I really, really do. So coming back then, because I want us to untangle all these obstacles people tend to get, especially when it comes to women and females. How about for the people that really want to start their journey? They're thinking, oh, I've got a child, I've got 2 children, I can't do, I'm too busy. What advice do you have for those people?
For me, this was a real sticking point. This is how I felt. I was like, how am I going to do this? I have 2 children. Now my children are 7 and 9. And you know what? It's been a journey, but you can do it. And honestly, you can do it. I've done it. They went to nursery, private nursery. We did everything in our means and our power to make things happen. And we juggled and juggled and juggled. And now we don't let the work life suffer. You don't let the home life suffer. And you don't let the family life suffer. You've got to always have that balance. You work hard, but you also got to keep that balance where you don't miss out on your kids' school plays. You're working, building a business, but you have to take that time out. And I always said to my staff, I said to them, do you know what? If you've got a kids' play, you're going to go to that play. I will pay you for half a day. You're going to take that time out and you're going to go. Wow. Sports day, you're not missing it. Beautiful. And I push them to go and make sure they're present for their children. Wow. Because that's so important, because I'm going to do it. I'm going to make sure if my child's play is at 9:15 in the morning, I'm going to be there at 9:15 in the morning. I'm going to watch my child's play and I'll come back to work. Yeah. But that is so important to do. And I think you can't forget the balance. You have to have the work-life balance is so important.
But if you're starting out though, sometimes you might not. For example, perhaps when you started this business, you did not know everything about it.
Yeah,
sometimes you have to sacrifice some time.
Yeah.
So how were you able to balance that with your...
For me, I was working, once the kids were in bed, I was managing my time.
Wow.
Sometimes I was up to 11 o'clock at night. Sometimes I'm up to 12 o'clock at night. Finding out what I need to do. I had to go through invoices. I have to make sure I check everything before we pay suppliers at the end of the month. All of those things were done in the time where I took time out. Once the kids are done, they're in bed, all their things are done. I had to put that extra couple of hours in just to make sure that I am being proactive on all the other ends. But you have to do it. You have to sacrifice sometimes certain things and put that extra time in. But you know what? Once you've done it for a little while, you find that extra balance and you find that extra time to spend with the kids, and you do make sure they don't suffer, their time doesn't suffer, the work life doesn't suffer. And it's managing the time. It's all about time management. Having routines is so key.
Absolutely. As an entrepreneur, facing and overcoming challenges is part of your job.
Yeah.
Right? Could you tell us about a significant hurdle you have overcome in the past year?
For me, the main thing is sometimes where obviously things have been in this industry like up and down this year. Things have been very up and down this year. People are very uncertain because of budgets, changeover of government. You see that there's a lot of people like retail and stuff. It has been suffering a little bit, but if you sit static and you don't change, those are the people that will suffer. And I think always evolving and developing helped overcome that challenge. And I think right now in the industry that we're in, there's sectors that are really suffering and sectors that are doing really well. Like the high-end luxury market is doing really well, but the retail market has slowed down a little bit because they're scared to spend the money and everything. So for us, we've got to make sure that you cover all the areas and push every single area you can and make sure that you're covered in all the grounds. And I think that was one challenge where we had to overcome, because you can't sit stagnant, you can't sit still.
Absolutely.
You cannot. You have to keep building and growing. And that's where the networking came into play, meeting all these new people, meeting all the new contacts, building new relationships. Because if something struggles here, something will always kind of be better there. So I think that was my one thing that I found was a struggle, but we overcome it and you keep going.
Yeah, I love that. That then gets me to the next question is, because sometimes people want to know everything about the business before they buy a business or before they can
commit to it.
So for you, leaving school age 16, for the people thinking, you need to get a degree, an accounting, financing degree, because you look at all the finances. So what advice do you have for people that are thinking they need to know every aspect of the business before they buy it?
You don't need to know every aspect, because we didn't know every aspect. Like I didn't know all the ins and outs of the accounts. I didn't know the ins and outs of the day-to-day running that the previous directors used to do. I just knew the forefront of it all. And I jumped in, feet first, And I took it on in my stride, and learn as I was going along. And I was willing to learn. I want to find out about the things that are going on back behind the scenes. And you're never going to know everything about a business until you're in it. Until you're hands-on, you're never going to know the full ins and out of the business. So I think that's, for me, was really an important factor.
Good. Looking ahead, what are some of your goals you have set for Prestige Bathrooms?
All right, so the main one for us is, obviously we have these beautiful showrooms here, but for us we want to have something in the heart of town, like either Chelsea, Mayfair, in the next couple of years, where we can have a hub where we can call in designers into, where it's local to all the project areas, all the nice areas in central London. People can come into our little hub and, like a showroom, work from there if they want to. It's their workspace.
Oh, wow.
They can have samples in there. They can bring their clients in there. We can have meetings from there. So I think that's kind of my aspiration for the next year or two, is where we want to build another prestige brand bathrooms in the heart of London.
Love that. Finally, what advice would you give to someone considering making a similar transition from being an employee to a business owner?
You know what, I would say just do it. For me, is just put your head down and just get it done, because it's the best decision of my life that I've done, because it's really changed the way you think, change your outlook in life. The relationships that you're building day to day is very different. And you know what, it's scary, but it's possible for anyone to do. If I could do it, anyone can do it, honestly. Absolutely. It's just a dream.
I love that. Quick fire round questions, just 1 or 2 words for this question. These are the funny questions, right? So, worst advice you remember receiving?
Worst advice?
Yeah.
How are you going to do it?
Okay.
What are you going to do?
Best advice you remember receiving?
You're a go-getter.
Fantastic. Your biggest regret?
Not doing it sooner.
Okay. Is there something you believe that lots of people disagree with?
Probably my passion. Some people are like, you're too passionate and you work too hard and you work like immense hours. And I disagree with that, because I love it. And for me, if I didn't love it, I wouldn't do it. And that's the sort of person I am. Like when I was in school, if I didn't enjoy going to class, I wouldn't go. It's pretty simple. So for me, if I didn't love it, I wouldn't do it.
I love that. Does money change you?
No.
Does money make you happy?
No.
Is there something you used to strongly believe and you recently changed your mind on?
Not really, because my values have kind of stayed the same throughout my journey.
Okay. Is there something in the world you fundamentally think is wrong and you'd like to change?
Yes, the way women are treated in our industry, I think that it's changing, but it's not changing quick enough. People are still set in their ways, and I think that really does need to be pushed forward, and it will change, but I think it's just still very stagnant at the moment.
Okay, I love that. This podcast is called Property Investment Blueprint Podcast. What does investment blueprint means to you?
For me, it's obviously a brand. It's a coming together of people, obviously building a portfolio as well. But I think the main message here is working together, collaborations, the journeys that everyone's on, the different journeys that everyone's had, and they are continuing. And it is just nurturing relationships, I think, is very important.
I love that. Final one. If there was only one person you'd love me to interview, who would that person be and why?
Love you to interview. Yeah. I'd probably say my partner, because I would say he would have a good outtake, because he's been there through the good times, the bad times, the rough times, and I think that is one person who would be a good person to interview.
Okay, I'll note that down. Definitely. What an amazing way to end the podcast. You've been amazing.
Thank you so much.
I like the inspiration. I like all the sort of encouragement you've made to our listeners. So if someone is interested in your services, how will they contact you? Where should we follow you? And where are you hanging out on social media?
So social media, it's Kalpa Patel, and then we've got Prestige_Bath, Prestige Bathrooms, and then we've got obviously the showrooms we've got here in Ealing. So yeah, we can find us everywhere. Socials is the main one. You can drop us a message, drop us an email, kalpa@prestigebathrooms.com.
Okay, so what we'll also do, we will get all these details. We can add it on the descriptions as well. For anybody who's listening or watching us, they would contact you from those links as well. Thank you so much. Thank you for inspiring me, myself as well. Thank you so much for helping people transform their homes by having amazing bathroom and plumbing, central heating stuff in their houses. So thank you for empowering the people around you, empowering ladies and everybody. You've been absolutely amazing. And thank you for making the time for being with us on a Sunday.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. I really, really appreciate it. And to anyone who's listening, just go out there and just do it.
Thank you. That was good.